Hello everyone, welcome back to Simplify Studies. In today's module, we are going to study about finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Let us first understand what are finite verbs. Well, a finite verb acts as the main verb of a sentence. If the finite verb is removed from a sentence, it will no longer make a complete sense. Means the verb which changes its form according to the tense of the sentence or person or number of the subject is called a finite verb. Let us first understand how finite verbs change according to tenses or time. Under present tense, I have a sentence, Tanu sings a song. Under past tense, the other sentence says, Tanu sang a song. And in future tense, the sentence says, Tanu will sing a song. Here, you can notice that the verb sing changes according to the tense. Now, let us see how finite verbs change according to the subject. I'm sure all of you are aware that I is a singular pronoun and with it we use am. And with you, we always use are, whether you stands for one person or for more than one person. So, the first example under singular subject is I am singing a song. The second sentence says you are singing a song. And the third sentence says he or she is singing a song. So, here with subject I, you, he or she, we have used am, are and is. In these sentences, am, are and is are different forms of the verb be. Here, they are finite verbs because they change according to the subject or the tense. But here, singing is a non-finite verb because it does not change according to the subject or tense. We will learn about non-finite verbs in a while. Now, let us see examples under plural subjects. The first sentence is Tanu and Manu are singing a song, or we or they are singing a song. In short, the verb is limited by the person of the subject. Let us take few more examples. The first sentence is I like singing. The second sentence is she likes singing. The third sentence is they like singing. I'm sure you are aware that I is first person and she and they are third person. So, we will accordingly use the verbs. With I, we use plural forms. So, here we have used like. I like singing. Second sentence, she likes singing. Here, she is third person singular. So, with it, we will use singular verb. So, we have used likes. And they are third person plural. So, with it, we will use like. Here, you can clearly notice that the verb like is changed from like to likes as it is controlled by the subject. So, finite verbs changes their form according to the number, person of the subject and the tense of the verb. Now, let's move on to the next topic and that is non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs are also known as double part of speech because sometimes with verbs they act as nouns, sometimes as adjectives and sometimes even as adverbs. Non-finite verbs remain unchanged irrespective of the number of person of the subject and the tense of the verb. For example, I want to play the piano or she wants to play the piano. They want to play the piano. In short, a verb which is not limited by person and number is called a non-finite verb. Non-finite verbs do not have any tense forms. Non-finite verbs fall into three categories. First one is infinitives, second one is participles, and the third one is gerunds. Under present infinitives, we have words like to steal, to forget, to write, etc. And under perfect infinitives, we have words like to have stolen, to have forgotten, to have written, etc. The infinitive is also referred to as to verb, but it can also be used without adding to the verb. Now, let us see few examples of infinitive. The first sentence says, she does not like to camp in the woods. The second sentence says, Nitin loves to climb the apple tree in his garden. The third sentence says, the old lady loved to talk all day. The verbs to camp, to climb, to talk in the above sentences are called infinitives. Now, let us take few more examples. The first example says, I have no bag to carry these apples. Second sentence says, they have no bags to carry these apples. Third sentence says, she has no bag to carry these apples. In these sentences, you can see the verb to carry does not change even though the person and the number of subject changes. When we don't add to infinitives, such verbs are called bare infinitive. For example, after modal auxiliaries such as shall, will, should, would, may, might, must, can, could, etc., with them we don't use to. For example, you shall accept these conditions means you will be forced to accept these conditions. Second sentence says, I will write to him means I have decided to write to him. Third sentence says, you should consult a doctor means I advise you to consult a doctor. Next sentence says, you must leave tonight means you are ordered to leave tonight. And the last one says, she can dance means she knows how to dance. We also use infinitive without to after verbs like let, make, bid, dare, need, etc. For example, let me try this problem, or the teacher made me write the application. We use the infinitive without to with verbs of perception. For example, see, hear, watch, know, feel, etc. Following are few more examples. Please go through it properly. If you have seen the above examples carefully, then you might have noticed that with bare infinitives we avoid using to. That is why it is called the infinitives without to. Now, let's quickly revise everything about bare infinitives. To verb is used without to after modal auxiliaries, then words like let, make, bid, dare, need, then words like see, hear, watch, know, feel. We also avoid using to verbs with expressions like had better, would rather, would sooner than, or rather than. We also avoid to verbs after then and but. Next, we have participles. Participles are verbs which perform the function of an adjective in a sentence. For example, growing children need proper nourishment. Here, growing is describing the noun children. Next sentence says, watching his inspired performance, the audience began to clap. Here, how's the performance? It's describing the performance, inspired performance. Participles are of three types: present, past, and perfect participles. Let us first start with present participle. Present participles have the verb form plus ing. For example, the diving board was broken. Diving modifies the noun board. Second sentence says, the waiting passengers jumped on the train as soon as it arrived. Here, waiting modifies the noun passenger. Present participles also act as subjective complements. For example, the task was tiring for the participants. Present participles are also used to form the continuous tense of the verbs. For example, is writing or will have been working, etc. Next, we have the past participle. The past participle usually ends in ed, d, t, en, or in n. For example, the broken doll could not be repaired, or the tired horse munched hay in its stable. Kiran's lost bag was returned by a stranger who had found it in the bus. Past participles are also used to form the perfect tense of the verbs. For example, would have remembered, or had hoped, had split, had eaten, or had blown, etc. Next, we have perfect participle. Perfect participles have the form having or having been plus past participle form of the verb. For example, having understood her mistake, she agreed to apologize. Or, having been attacked by the thieves once, we are extra careful now. Or, having been taught by Miss Roma, we have understood the chapter on chemical reactions very well. Before I move on to the next topic, let's quickly revise the functions of a participle. First one, a participle is used as an adjective. Second, a participle is used to combine sentences. Third one, a participle is placed as close to the nouns or pronouns that it modifies. And the last one, a participle is a non-finite verb because it does not change when the number of the subject changes. For example, she smiled at the laughing child who ran barefoot towards the seashore. Or they smiled at the laughing child who ran barefoot towards the seashore. Here, laughing is a verb with an ing ending, but it does not do the work of a noun. Here, laughing does the work of an adjective. It tells us more about the noun child. I hope it is clear now. Now, let's move on to the next topic, and that is gerunds. Gerunds are verbs which perform the function of a noun in the sentence. Both gerunds and the present participle have the ing form. However, gerunds act as nouns while participles act as adjectives. For example, solving riddles is a good pastime is a gerund. Whereas the second example, he tried to get up on the moving bus and fell down, is present participle. To understand it in a better way, let's take few more examples. The first sentence says, I enjoy reading. I enjoy what? The answer is reading. Manav is good at painting. Manav is good at what? And the answer is painting. Third sentence says, collecting coins is her hobby. What is her hobby? Collecting coins. Fourth sentence says, climbing the stairs is a good exercise. What is a good exercise? Climbing the stairs. But now, can you tell me what is common between words like reading, painting, collecting, climbing? Can you tell me the answer? Yes, they all end in ing. But reading and painting are the objects in the sentence, whereas collecting and climbing are the subject in the sentence. Now, let's take the second example one more time. The sentence is, Manav is good at painting. Now, I'll modify the number and the sentence will become, the boys are good at painting. Now, let's change the tense also. Tanu was good at painting before she injured her arm. Here, you will notice that the verb painting does not change when the number of subject changes. It is not bound by the tense. Verbs which do the function of a noun and a verb and are not bound by the tense or number of person of the subject are called gerunds. It is derived by adding ing to the end of a verb. However, gerunds function as nouns. They occupy the position held by nouns in a sentence. But gerunds can function as a subject, an object, and the object of a preposition. Now, let us understand gerund as subject with few examples. Traveling helps you gain new experiences. Here, traveling is the subject. Second example says, waiting for a bus can take a long time. Here, waiting is the subject. Now, let us take gerund as an object. The example is, the students appreciate her teaching. So, students appreciate what? Answer is her teaching. So, teaching is acting as object. The second example says, the gate needs repainting. The gate needs what? And the answer is repainting. Here, repainting is acting as an object. Before I finish today's video, let's quickly revise gerunds one more time. The ing form of verbs that function as nouns are called gerunds. Gerunds appear both in subject and object positions of sentences. For example, walking is a good habit. Here, gerund walking is the subject of the sentence. In the second sentence, Samaira likes eating vegetables. Here it is eating is object. And gerunds may be simple. For example, swimming is a good exercise. However, gerunds may also be in the form of phrases. Such phrases are called gerund phrases or noun phrases. For example, traveling on a cruise liner is expensive, or finding the right house takes time, or I'm tired of arguing with you, or Arjun loves singing in the shower. But please remember, when we use gerunds or gerund phrases as the subject of a sentence, the verb used with it is always in the third person singular. And for all negative gerunds, we add not before the gerund. For example, not completing your assignment on time will affect your scores. That's all I have for you today. Do play the quiz. The link of the same is given in the description box. And do share this video with your friends. Thank you and have a good day.